The opinions expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of Eastlink TV, its sponsors, or partners.
Mark Durkee's not with us this segment. It's me and Crystal Porter. Although Crystal, the last time I saw you perform, it was an outdoor concert in Hebron, and Mark was there.
That's right.
You two know each other.
Yes, we do. We've known each other for quite a few years, yeah.
And have performed together?
Yes, yes. In quite a few locations, actually. We're both singer-songwriters from the same town, so a lot of times we'll bunk up on the same show. And other shows, actually, we both played a show in Moncton together, too, at Plan B, and Leadville was there as well, so we opened for them. And that was in the last year, so yeah.
Has this been it seems like for every group this past year has been a good year. For you, what's the last year been like?
It's been quite well, actually. I started recording my debut album, so I'm hoping that will be out later on in the year. The end of spring, early summer, and actually last summer I played the Harmony Bazaar Festival in Lockport, and that's a wonderfully good time. It happened to fall on my birthday weekend last year, so it was extra special. Yeah.
The question I asked earlier, your first memory of knowing that you liked music?
My grandfather was a musician locally. He played bass in a band called Crossover and in a few other bands growing up. And he used to play in the garage at my grandmother's house, and I stayed there a lot growing up, so I would fall asleep listening to them jam. And I remember being a little kid sitting on the stool just completely amazed with music and sound and just watching them play and how happy they were when they played. And he bought me my first guitar, taught me how to sing. We used to listen to good time oldies together in the car, and we'd go for long Sunday drives and just sing together. And so he kind of trained my ear that way. I didn't really have a lot of theory training. It was just his imagination kind of opened up, and I was like, yeah, and grabbed hold of it.
How old were you when you were doing that?
I was 3 when that's my earliest memory, listening to him. I was 3 years old. Now singing, maybe 7, 8.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a wondrous world, you know.
I suspect some of your viewers would remember your grandfather. What was his name?
Ben Morton.
Ben Morton.
Yeah.
And he played in a number of bands?
A number, yeah. He was primarily a bass player, but he was pretty versed with many different instruments, and he sang too, so yeah.
Fair enough to say probably your major influence?
Big time, yeah. Yeah, he gave me music, and you can't take that away from someone. You give them something so great, that's with them for life, so.
Even more tangible than the guitar?
Yeah, yeah.
That he also gave you?
Yeah. Much more, and I still have it. It's unfortunate it doesn't really work right now, but it's a memento, and it's something that will always remind me of him.
You mentioned the Harmony Festival. Where else do you perform, like in the last year?
I performed in Halifax in the last year, Moncton, Lockport, just mainly around the Maritimes, a lot of local shows and stuff too, so I try to keep myself out there, and once the album comes out, I want to kind of expand and do more of just a maritime tour, and yeah.
Solo?
Solo primarily, but I do have a couple boys from Leadville, actually, Matt and Travis, both accompany me from time to time, and yeah, it's nice to have other people kind of step in and add their own twists to your songs and kind of give them more life too, because it's one thing playing as a solo performer, but when other instruments join, it becomes something completely different, you know, and that's something special.
Are you aware of the sparkle in your eye as you're describing? You love music,
I love music, yeah, I do. I did just creative art in general, like just bringing things to life that didn't exist before and expressing, and it's a wonderful way to share feelings and experiences and stories with other people, and I don't want to stop doing that. It's funny because my grandfather growing up, he had really bad arthritis, and he gave away his bass. He said, I can't do this anymore. And I remember telling him, that's not going to last. You are going to want to play. It is going to drive you crazy. And sure enough, within a year, he was calling my mom saying, do you think you can give me a bass for Christmas? I really miss bass. You can't take the music out of a musician. Wow. You can't.
And can't take the music out of you, and I think it's time for us to hear something.
I would love to play you something. This song is actually called Peace of Mind, and it'll be on my upcoming album. Yeah.
Okay, pull the mic closer to you and...
set myself up like a row of cans, and I wait to be knocked down, so I can fall like the faces of everyone, everyone I ever let down. I was told I would survive, everything would be fine. Was that for peace of mind? Was that for peace of mind? Yeah, such a hard time with forgiveness. I can forgive but never forget, but I don't hold a grudge against anyone. I guess that I'm not anyone. I was told I would survive, everything would be fine. Was that for peace of mind? Was that for peace of mind? Yeah, and the tears they fall like water, and I'm about to drown in my glass, drown in my glass. I was told I would survive, and everything would be fine. Was that for peace of mind? Was that for peace of mind? Yeah.
Not only do you have a beautiful voice, you have a powerful voice.
Thank
and I
you.
suspect I'm not the first to say that.
No, no. I definitely, sometimes I don't need this. It's mostly for the delicate things.
Crystal, do you also think of yourself as a poet?
I like to write a lot. I think of myself more as a writer than a poet. I have to leak things out, just perspectives and just general thoughts, just to kind of get it out there, and writing is the most expressive way I can do that. So whether it's to music or whether it's just a general thought, and I mean, even with my writing, sometimes I write the lyrics first and I'll hear a melody, and that's what will allow me to remember the songs, and other times it's the music first, and it's just, it kind of varies back and forth.
This song, you know, I don't need forgiveness, where?
We all have things that we keep in the closet. Everybody does. We all have that life that we live, and then we have our private lives, and we have our completely personal lives. I'd seen a quote, I can't remember it. It's not a big deal. But sometimes we do things in our life that we really have a hard time of letting go of. And I guess in this song, it's me trying to say, you know, you're not a bad person, even though some days you feel like you are. You know, and not that I've done anything tremendously horrible, but we all feel like that sometimes, you know, where we just, oh, I can't believe I said that, or oh, no. And sometimes we can't let it go, you know, and we have to practice that.
And sometimes easier to sing about than to talk about.
When I sing that song, it's very freeing for me. It helps me kind of get it out, you know. And
Crystal, this time has gone very fast. I want to say a huge thank you to the dozen or so people who are behind me and around, the people on the camera, the people in the studio, and particularly to you and your good friends who were on the earlier segments. But this program, In Focus, is volunteer run. It's a group of about a dozen volunteers who I think enjoy each other as much as the musicians enjoy each other. You're going to play us out, and the song is The Prophet?
Yes.
Where did the song come from?
Sometimes I have character songs, and this was one of those songs. Yeah, I just just a situation I asked, you'll have to listen to the lyrics.
Play us out.
All right, excellent.
Lead me into the room, reveal to me your secrets and your heart, like you said you would. Leave me here and let me breathe, cuddled amongst the shrubs and trees. Like you said, just like you told me, you say things I can't explain. Peer inside my deepest drain. Everything I know has changed. Everything I know has changed. Bring to me the peace I need. Show me love that I've dreamed of, like you said you would. The sweet sense awaken me and my deepest memories. Like you said, just like you told me, you say things I can't explain. Peer inside my deepest drain. Everything I know has changed.